Did Lonzo ever hang out with any crazy white dudes that got him to drop some acid or pop some shrooms back in
Hell
those
no.
days?
I've been around white boys that have dropped shrooms and acid. I ain't ever took no psychedelic shit. I don't play that shit. I like my brain cells. Fuck that shit. Nigga be high for 4 or 5 years. Oh, hell no. Okay. I just think too many cats that I grew up with have flashbacks. And that shit get in your system, man. It'll hit you, out of the clear blue sky sometimes. Nah, dude. No, Lonzo. I do remember one time I was working at this mobile station over Redondo Beach and Figueroa. Still, this gas station still there right to this day. I was working the graveyard shift. And the manager and a couple of guys came by. It was white. I'm the only black guy on the whole damn in the lineup. And I'm working one of my first nights there. And they come by high, laughing, kicking it, blah blah blah. And I don't know what happened, but somebody messed around and hit the damn robbery button. And before the cops got there, the helicopter showed up. So I had been smoking a little bit of weed. I ain't gonna lie. And me and the white boys went out to under the helicopter light, and we tap dancing like we in fucking vaudeville and shit. Okay, boy, Gardena PD rolled up on our asses. They had us stressed out there. They had my black. Well, here's what happened: when the white boys saw the police before I did, right? So all the white boys did this. I'm the only one still clowning. So they thought I was robbing the goddamn joint. Man, I was mad at some bitch. We ended up laughing because we was too high not to laugh, but I was pissed. But again, when you high, you don't stay pissed for long.
That's hilarious, dog. Hey, retired senior chief U.S. Navy wants to know, Lonzo, what are your favorite album covers of all time?
Anything by Ohio Players and George Clinton. Ohio Players had some of the finest bald-head women in the world on them album covers. And George Clinton album covers, you can read them summer guns right to this day and still find new shit, especially the liner notes. Snoop tried to duplicate that with the Doggy Style album, okay? When you see a George Clinton liner note, it's like a big-ass cartoon. I mean, a big-ass comic book, okay? That's something I miss about the record business. Liner notes, man. We would study liner notes like they were homework, dude. There are no more liner notes, dude. It's just files. There's nothing physical attached to the album. Okay, no real cover. I mean, you got a thumbnail. That's it. We would make CDs and 12 inches and even albums. You had to put everybody's name on this summer gun someplace, man. In the back, your girl, Yellow's girl. We had to do it was a whole list of people we had to acknowledge, or you had to hit a mouths. George Clinton wrote shit in his album in the liner notes of, I think it was Glory Hella Stupid, one of those album covers when he was in there he had the black suit on and and the braid and the bracelets and stuff, and the album cover, and the same thing with I think it was the Aqua Boogie with him riding the two dolphins. The album cover, I mean the liner notes and the album cover is intricate, man. It's like listen to his album. You listen to Parliament Funkadelic music, put on headphones, you'll hear shit you never heard before. And that's how his album covers work. You would hear shit all the time, man. Yeah. The Ohio Players, shit, that just was eye candy, dude. That's all that was. He got homegirl, honey running out her head, around her body. Come on, man. That shit right there. We just sit there looking at the album cover all day long. Who else? There was another one that we loved a lot. Ohio Players, Honey, Pain, all they shit was bumping. And I can't think of it right now, but yeah, those two for sure.
Good times, man. Let's see. What were your thoughts when Dre? What are your thoughts of Dre leaving Death Row with nothing?
He couldn't leave Death Row with nothing. Not possible. Even after he did, Jimmy got it all back for him. Okay, he left when he left Death Row. He just I want out. Okay, but because Jimmy owned Interscope, it wasn't all Suge no way. Suge tried to bully folks, but he, hey man, I still did all this work. And at some point in time, Dre, this shit still was part of Dre's. I don't know if he signed off on it or not. I don't know if Jimmy would let the deal go through, But my understanding was he was like, hey man, I ain't taking nothing with me, just let me go. And he did, but Jimmy went back and made sure the shit was right.
Yeah, you know, Lonzo, someone brought up MC Choice, and that was the person you sent me the video months ago, but I remember that video from back in the day. It was a female rapper. She was dissing N.W.A. She was dissing the Ghetto Boys. MC Choice, do you remember sending me that video?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Somebody sent it to me.
Probably just came across it one random night. Yeah, it's crazy. Someone just mentioned it in the
I seen the chat room.
Yeah. She went off on them. I remember that. She went off on the Ghetto Boys and N.W.A, calling them little dick guy, all that stuff.
I wonder what happened. Is she still living?
Yeah. Damn, dude. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Someone mentioned Big Bass Brian. I remember just DJ Quick would always shout out Big Bass Brian. I was like, who is this guy? And then I'd see him in the linear notes. But someone just mentioned Big Bass Brian. What do you remember about Big Bass Brian, Lonzo?
Big Bass Brian did all our mastering. He worked for Bernie Grudman. When we had real money for an album, like our CBS album and the Wrecking Crew album, we went to Bernie Grudman. Bernie Grudman, he was the Picasso of mastering. But Bernie stayed busy. Bernie had all the major shit, Luther, Michael, Tina Marie. He was right there on Sunset, and he had everybody's shit. All the studios are on Sunset. There's studios all over there. And he go on to Bernie Grudman, it'd be tapes piled up like a son of a gun for him to master. Brian was his relief. Brian was great with sound, and Brian took the time to open up the bass on our shit to make it fatter. Bernie didn't like that because Bernie was doing his shit was always about the super clarity, and he was such a perfectionist. He wouldn't take on a lot of hip hop stuff in the beginning. He would book it, but he wouldn't do it himself. He'd give it to Brian, and Brian would let us come into the studio with him sometime and sit there and listen. Brian, you can't do that with Bernie because Bernie would cut sometime at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. He was one of them savant type audio cats. I don't know if he's still alive, and I tell you the truth. But Brian was the one that became known for giving the West Coast hip hop the fat ass sound. And he was a cool, super cool dude. And we asked, can we come in there and listen to, we want this kind of sound. And he would take that shit to the maximum without it being fucked up.
We'll end with this question. Strictly Funk says, any stories from the Ruthless radio show? What was Eazy's plan for Ruthless radio? I know Yellow was really close with Ruthless radio. What do you know about Ruthless, Lon? Radio on 92.3, right?
Yeah. Eazy E, Julio G, and some other folks was doing the radio show. And Eazy had talked about at one time buying K-Day. They was trying to put together a consortium. I think it was Eazy E, Ice-T, and somebody else to try and buy K-Day when it went up for sale. Didn't go through. But yeah, he was getting very popular. And who was that? Oh, they were talking about how Eazy believed in Bone Thugs because nobody liked what they sound like when they first came out. And he kept playing them. He kept playing them until people caught on to it. And that's the power of radio. When you play something enough, people will at some point in time start to accept it, and that's how he got Bone to a certain degree to be accepted by the general public here on the West Coast. I
remember the box and every other video was Thuggish Ruggish Bone by Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I'm sure Eazy was doing a little behind the scenes something or other because that's how I got hip to him.
That's why the box got canceled, because the box became a video form of payola. Because people would give, and then they tried to catch him. But what they would do, they would hire independent promoters in different parts of the country, send somebody $20 here, $20, $100 here, whatever the case may be, and just flood the request line with the video of the day. And if it was Bone Thugs and Harmony, Michael Jackson, and then people started complaining because there was no kind of no fairness about it. You would get inundated with the same videos back to back to back, maybe one or two back to back to back, and it became a problem. And that's what made the box go out of business. I think I hit with a couple of lawsuits because it was back then the radio was different. Radio was real different, and videos were so new they didn't have the same. They didn't have the same governance, and I guess somebody filed a lawsuit and they made them straighten this shit. That's why you don't see video shows no more. Think about it.
Yeah.
Everybody had a video show at one point in time. And no more video shows on TV. Nowhere. Think about it.
Yeah. That's facts, man.
BT had After Dark with all the sexy shit. They take off their clothes, get more raunchy. They had Yo MTV Raps. Ain't nobody. And videos are more popular than ever. And they're cheaper to do, but you don't see them on television.
Yeah, man.
You got 30 seconds.
Ooh, yeah, different time. Great conversation. Lonzo, love you, dog. Love the chat. Please hit that like button before you guys head out if you haven't already. Any last words?